Pacific Standard Time, and I see you're all over the world, and so welcome, welcome. And Suzanne from Hamburg, thank you for writing, and hi.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi.
Would you read to the audience what you wrote to me so that we can all be on the same page?
Yes, of
Thank you.
course. Thank you. Hello, Katie.
Hi.
Hello, everybody. So my problem is, last year I collapsed after my old story about my life changed totally. Nothing is like it was before. Living situation, job, family life. The work, the whole story of of who I am was gone in a short time. And this is okay, it is like it is. But I realized, I feel like I have lost my strength. And often I feel confused. This is new for me. I have never felt like this before.
Yeah.
Feeling anger about not knowing what to do and who I am. And I can't get to the lowest point of the problem. This is my problem. I don't know how to catch the point with the work. Do you have any idea how to get to the lowest point, to the root of the problem, and how to do the work with this?
You know, I would never know what the root is. And in all of these years of doing the work, I've never known what the root is, but I know the root of the ego. It's like the ego has no end. It's got to have you in its grasp at all times. It doesn't sleep. So as you continue to do the work on mother, father, sister, brother, job, whatever arises, as you continue to do those worksheets, eventually the ego's problem is it doesn't exist. So it has a fear of discovering that. That's terrifying for the ego. That's why it can never sleep. So once it feels secure through inquiry, at home in itself, and you're a great example of all that peace that you're finding and stumbling into other abysses, other areas. But once the ego can find a gentle home in itself, then it loses its fear. It has found a home. In other words, it hasn't found a death. It's found a home where in that mind, in your mind, it can live. There's nothing serious. There's no fear in it. It's just, as I would say, a story. Now, when it grabs your attention and it feels like fear, then that belongs on paper. So unconditional love, the mind experiencing the mind itself. So that's what we're putting on paper. Ego, the mind, the identity that it wants us to believe in. And when I say wants us to believe in, I'll specifically say that's where it has a hold on you. Now, you said something that was like this, what you were referring to, as I recall, as a lack of power that you've never experienced before. And like not knowing what to do. I believe those were your words.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, yes. So I can tell you that, well, let's look at it this way. If you think of where your feet are right now, did you plan it?
No.
No, not at all. And you'll find this, when you're aware of that, as you're doing your work, you'll find that you are always either remembering or anticipating where you've come from and where you're going. Those past and futures give you the illusion of where you are. So as you do your work, you begin to see that what you're calling as a lack of power as stepping into real power. Look at you. Your hair is, it's combed. Your glasses are on the right place. They're not on your mouth. They're on your nose and eyes. And and your laughter's intact. And you're doing so well. And what I love about my life is that the need not to know. And I can function in a world like at BKI. I can function in that business world as well. And I won't give me an A+ on that at all, but I can function in that kind of work at all, or with my grandchildren, that world, or with my children, that world, with my friends in that world. And notice how I'm not planning what I say. It's like my feet. I had nothing to do with putting them there. So we can notice when we're planning and then take credit for it, even though it was only just like the feet. We didn't plan to put it there. So we cease to become afraid. Now you have abilities, and all of you out there, you have abilities that when you reach this phase of doing your work, you begin to notice again a power that never leaves you. And where my strength comes from is this amazing grace of not needing to know. Like if I'm in a big conference, I'm really just standing there waiting. You understand what that means? If I'm walking across the floor, I'm in one spot waiting. Yeah. And then I never have to know what to say. Once I get to the microphone, I allow it to be because I have no reputation to protect or keep. Because, it's out of this love of authenticity, whatever it is, with nothing to lose. This is your life, sweetheart. And obviously you're taking a wild old trip.
Mm-hmm. Well, I realized after I had this, they call it burnout, that all possibilities, what I had before, all the years doing the work with me or with the clients, all that was, that like something turned and give me just an ugly smile and said, and I was so confused that it felt like I built a new concept around all that.
I see.
And that's gone. And there is something inside me. I have the picture that there is something very, very old inside me and keep the door from closed. And,
there's something very, very what inside you?
There is something, a lot of anger. That it's like a new ground open. And
oh, sweetie, that is just that.
Deeper.
But that is a gift. That's a gift. That anger that you're in touch with. Oh my goodness, that belongs on paper. And if you want a partner to do that with, to be with you in that kind of journey, find a facilitator. And that will hold you and go through that journey with you, or find 2 or 3. And you're into some really fertile ground. You've obviously done enough work that would take you this new kind of low that I was seeing as a new kind of high.
Yeah. It felt like it will blow away. And I feel, no. And
But look at you, you're not blown away. Here you are.
Yes.
Here you are. So that depression, that anger, that lostness, it all belongs on paper. I don't know another way. And, oh my gosh, I just don't know another way. And the more work you do, the more meditating in yourself on these questions that you do, the clearer the decisions are that you make, the clearer and more intelligence the decisions that come through you. And if you haven't learned anything through this, you've learned, or I'm assuming you've learned, that the world doesn't stop just because your life is turned upside down. That it goes on without you, and here you are to fend for yourself. And to me, that means to just stay in my head in a very good way, to identify the story that is causing the stress I'm in the moment, and or just sit there with a Judge a Neighbor worksheet until, with my eyes closed in silence, just meditating in stillness, until the story that wants to be worked comes to me. And I even let it choose itself, which is going on inside of you all the time anyway. But, if we argue against it, we miss these amazing stories that are the cause of our anger and insecurities and the feeling of lovelessness when we are only that. And that's where the rub is, That's where the rub is. Anything that opposes your true nature, is up for questioning. And I love you have the work.
Me too.
Oh, sweetie, so sweet talking with you this morning from here. And kiss Hamburg for me.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Katie.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.